Hi, Stephanie.
Hello.
It's so cool to see you again. I'll be on this mic. You can be on that mic. We'll chat a little bit. Is that good?
Yes, that sounds
Awesome.
great.
Awesome.
Hello.
I think, so first of all, we were just talking backstage just a few minutes ago,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize this, but you're an Oregonian native.
Very
You're
much
from
so,
here.
yeah.
That's
I've got
cool.
deep roots, and I'm actually fourth generation.
Wow. So
I know.
That's cool. That's
know.
cool. You know, in the time that you've been here, just in the Portland area as well as the music scene, you've seen a lot of different changes happening. You've seen people coming and going. You've seen changes around Portland. What would you say is kind of one of the biggest things for you personally that's changed over time, just as far as you doing music here in town?
Wow.
How would you talk about that, or how would you describe that if you would?
It's been interesting because when I first started out, I was in this. First I was in this top 40 band called High Fashion, which was spelled high fashion, like high fashion. And we played, and I had my ID said Jenny Burns because it was my boyfriend at the time's older sister who I looked a lot alike. And so the bartender or the bouncers at the clubs I would play would say like, why do you go by Stephanie Schneiderman? And I was like, that's my stage name.
Nice. It's great that a stage name would be more complicated than like the supposed real name.
Completely.
You know what I mean?
And then I was in this Motown funk band, so I've seen a lot of sides of Portland.
Yeah.
And then when I started out playing music with my own band and my own original music, I was playing with a lot of jazz players that kind of crossed over into the pop folk realm. And so I feel like I've gotten to see a lot of different genres in Portland.
Nice.
It's hard to pinpoint like one of the, everything has shifted. Life has shifted. The city has shifted. I would say the biggest shift I see personally in the music industry, not just Portland, but it's the streaming of music and how that's changed the industry and how that's changed the livelihood for musicians. And we've just had to like recreate ourselves and I like to think positively, like, okay, if music is free, then I can find other ways, other merch ways or other ways to do it. We just have to kind of go with that flow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we also know you from the bands Swan Sovereign and Dirty Martini as well here in Portland. You've been at it and did these numerous different projects. And the solo album from you, the most recent one, is Crossfire, which is out now. Great album. You guys should all check it out and give it a listen. It was your first solo album in almost a decade, right?
Yeah, it's interesting because I have a 10-year-old son, and so go figure. It's been exactly about that amount of time.
So if you do the math, you took a little bit of a break, maybe.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, actually, I didn't. I was writing with Swan Sovereign. We released something. So Swan Sovereign is a new version. It started with Dirty Martini, and we let go. McKinley, Lara Michelle, and I let go of our beloved rhythm section. It became our rhythm section. So I started playing drums, and McKinley was on bass, and Lara on electric guitar. So we formed this like punchy, defiant, bossy, prissy little power trio. And I don't know if those are the right words, but so I really was busy.
Sure.
But I just wasn't busy on my own solo project. So this was interesting because although I've produced for other people, this was the first time on my own album, Crossfire, the one I just put out. It was the first time I self-produced in a studio, which is like a very different animal. Usually you bounce off of, I've worked with amazing producers like Keith Schreiner is one of the producers I've worked with, more in the electronic realm. And I have to say, I feel like this album, Crossfire, is a culmination of all the places that I've been. There's like elements of that electronic vibe, but very sparse versions of it.
Sure.
Like what I learned from playing drums and how drums are everything. And I think before playing drums, I kind of learned that from working with Keith in that world of electronic bass and drums, because drums are everything. You don't realize it. Drums are everything.
Absolutely.
So it changed my perception. I think it helped me as a producer.
That's interesting. So you talk about like numerous different places sort of influencing what you did musically with the album. Did you produce and record the album right here in Portland, or did you go elsewhere for that?
It was a few different places. I recorded with Matt Greco at the Rye Room. I recorded with John Askew up in Vancouver at Bocce Recording, and I also went down to Eugene to work with bass player Todd Sikafus,
Okay.
who's actually one of my very favorite producers.
Nice.
He produced one of my favorite albums, which is by Anais Mitchell. And
Nice.
anyway, and a wonderful drummer named Andy Borger. So I mean, in a way, the way I recorded it matches like all the places I've been and all the places I've traveled musically.
Yeah.
I mean, accidentally, I think it does. I never really thought about that until now. But
It sounds like there's a lot going on with
yeah,
the
and I
album.
have like a string quartet
Wow.
with wonderful, beautiful arrangements by Dave Mills,
Nice.
who I worked with in the world of that back in the Body and Soul days. So it does
Wow.
pull from a lot of the places I've been, and I feature 3 songs on there that I co-wrote with McKinley and Lara from Swan Sovereign. So it really does it feels like it culminates like all the places I've been musically.
Wow. You know,
Yeah.
speaking of strings, let's talk about the Oregon Symphony and that project that you
Yeah.
have with them, the Lullaby Project, which is this is the fifth time
year.
I think you've done that now.
Yeah,
with
so
them.
it originated at Carnegie Hall, and then they brought the project to different cities, Portland being one of them, and Oregon Symphony is the host.
Yeah.
And they team up songwriters. There's about 7 or 8 of us that have done it each year, and we get teamed up with a woman or a family experiencing homelessness, houselessness, and we help them write a song for their kids. So
Wow.
then that we get when we record it and get backed up by the symphony, and there's a big show, and it's like absolutely for every songwriter involved one of the best things we've ever done. It's just meaningful for everybody.
And you know, along those lines, you yourself, you're kind of, you know, in the idea of teaching songwriting. You
Yeah.
also have something going on in that regard as well.
That's right. I've been developing a songwriting course. It's called You Are the Song, and I'm wanting to bring it to marginalized youth, like kids that are experiencing homelessness
Wow.
and kids that have teenagers and young adults who've been trafficked. And so the idea is that the song is already inside of some, you know, everybody. I can kind of give everyone a pathway to access it.
Wow.
That's what that's about.
Wow. That's amazing. You have a show going on tomorrow down in Cottage Grove.
Yeah, Tony
Speaking of the Eugene
Furtado,
area,
my
yeah.
husband Tony Furtado, and I will be playing a kind of an intimate outdoor concert in this beautiful like orchard garden area.
You can bring your
down
own
there.
picnic, I understand.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's cool. Other things closer to
Yeah,
town here
I'll
as
be
well?
performing with the for the Lake Oswego Festival of the Arts
Nice.
in later June on
Great.
Friday, June 23rd, and my trio will be with me, which features Keith Brush on upright bass and Jenny Conley on accordion. And Jenny's pretty famous for her work with Decemberists. So.
Yes, absolutely. Well,
great
great.
treat.
Well, we'll look forward to those shows for sure. And again, the latest album is Crossfire. It's out right now. You're kind enough to come and play some songs for us here at the PNC
Yes.
Live Studio at KINK. So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Good to
Once again,
see you.
Stephanie Schneiderman, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.